Hi guys, a Brexit supporter named Lee Harris was invited onto GB News to complain about Keir Starmer. Now, he attacked the Prime Minister for not upholding his pledges and for campaigning for a second referendum on Brexit. Lee also had some criticism for the former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, and when pushed for an example of that man lying, he replied with immigration. Now, while Leave voters and activists fret about Keir Starmer dragging the UK back into the EU, he can't. It's that simple.
Look, the 2 points I want to make about this: you can't trust anything that Keir Starmer says for a start. Flip-flop Starmer. You just don't know what the man's going to do. He had no idea what he's going to do. His 5 pledges that he won the leadership on, the tax raid that's going to happen soon, saying that, you know, we weren't going to raise these taxes on working people, yet we know he's going to raise taxes. The point about Keir Starmer and will he take us back into the EU is, this is the man that stood up and said, I will respect the result, whatever happens. I saw the clip, he said it in Parliament, I will respect the result. As soon as he lost that vote, he went straight out and campaigned for another one. Right, so the guy is, I don't trust him. I think he's a bit of a liar.
But you could say that about Rishi Sunak.
I would say that about Rishi Sunak.
And he didn't manage those either.
Yeah, no, Rishi Sunak's, in my view, slightly worse, because he, I feel like he lied directly to the membership, of which I was a part of at the time.
What did he lie about, sorry?
Rishi Sunak in general.
What you said just now, that you were annoyed about that?
Well, I think he represents the lies that we were told about the Conservative Party reducing immigration. And I know he was only in charge for 18 months, but he was in charge and he did little or nothing to... And with the whole flights to Rwanda, why didn't he send the flights?
Well, I think he was... Well, I think...
He could have done. France did.
Maybe if he'd listened to Robert Jenrick or Suella Brabham and made it a bit more watertight.
We spent way more money.
Well, listen, we got to...
Oh my goodness. Okay. When you talk about France, France did not send people to Rwanda. I'm not sure where he's getting that idea from. Maybe he's talking about some other country where France sent people to, but they didn't send them to Rwanda, and especially didn't send them to Rwanda to have asylum claims processed, where if they were successful, they would stay in Rwanda. Now, let's get back to this Brexit thing, because it refuses to die. Keir Starmer cannot bring the UK back kicking and screaming into the EU. He can't drag it. He can't deliver it by stealth. He can't do anything like that. All he can do is create a situation where the case can be made to rejoin. But at the end of the day, the ultimate decision on whether the UK rejoins the European Union or not lies with the European Union. They will decide if the UK can be part of the European Union again. It's nothing to do with Keir Starmer. He doesn't have any choice over the matter. He can try and align as close as possible. He can try and rebuild the relationship post-Brexit, but there's nothing he can do. The UK can have a referendum tomorrow, and it can be a 90 to 10% victory for rejoin. But that's not going to change anything within the European Commission, the European Union. They're going to say, look, you can rejoin, or you can join. We don't even know which term is the right one to use. You can join when you meet the criteria. So the Brexiteers, since they took over, along with Boris Johnson, were trying to diverge from EU standards, trying to make it more difficult to rejoin the European Union. So Starmer now back in, he's going to try and undo some of that. Now, when it comes to the second referendum, I thought these people liked democracy. They keep saying how the referendum in 2016 was an act of democracy. But if you want more democracy, that's a bad thing. That we only have democracy once. That'd be like saying, well, you know, Tony Blair won in 1997, so Tony Blair remains Prime Minister forever. Or Boris Johnson won in 2019, Boris Johnson remains Prime Minister forever. You can never get rid of him. You know, it's one election until the end of time. You know, no one would be happy with that, even Conservatives. So, once again, Keir Starmer can do whatever he wants. He can try and align as closely as possible to EU standards, to reach out, deliver whatever sort of olive branches he wants. But at the end of the day, it will be the EU who will decide. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.